For most of my life, I thought the voice that said, "You're not doing enough," was the reason I got things done. I thought it was my drive, that if I stopped pushing myself, stop holding myself to that standard, I'd just fall apart, become someone who settles. So I kept it. I fed it, I let it run, and it ran me straight into the ground. You might know that voice. It normally shows up after a small mistake and somehow turns it into a verdict on your whole character. Why can't you just get it together? Other people are managing. What is actually wrong with you? Now that I'm saying it out loud, it sounds so awful. And the thing is, it sounds like it cares, like someone holding you to a high standard. So you let it stay because the alternative feels dangerous. Self-compassion. That sounds like something people do when they've already decided not to try anymore. Like if you stop being hard on yourself, the whole thing falls apart. I thought that was true for so long. And if you're in a big transition right now, leaving something behind, building something new, and not quite sure yet who you are in this in between, that voice gets especially loud because there's so much uncertainty, so many things you don't know. And self-criticism, as painful as it is, it feels like doing something. Like if you push hard enough, you can think your way out of not knowing. I used to track everything I hadn't done. Not what I'd finished, but what was still left, what was still wrong, what still wasn't good enough. An error in a plan, and I'd spiral. One bad day, and it felt like proof of something deeper, that I was fundamentally behind, fundamentally not enough. And I genuinely thought that pressure was useful, that it was the thing keeping me moving. But here's what actually happened. The constant weight of it hollowed me out. My confidence didn't grow, it shrank, because every achievement became a new baseline. There was no moment where I'd done enough. The goalpost moved the second I reached it. And eventually I just hit a wall where I didn't want to do anything at all. Not because I stopped caring or I became lazy. I was just tired. The kind of tired that doesn't disappear after a weekend, no matter how much sleep you got. It's the kind that comes from fighting yourself every day. And I remember thinking, if this voice, this self-criticism is supposed to be helping me, keep moving forward, why do I feel so completely unable to move? Here's what I've come to understand. Self-criticism doesn't produce growth. It produces performance. And these two can feel identical from the inside, but they're not. Performance is what happens when you're afraid of what it means if you fail. You push, you deliver, you hit the target, but underneath it, you're running. From failure, from judgment, from what it might mean about you. Growth is different. Growth is what happens when you're genuinely curious about what you're capable of. When you can look at a mistake and ask, what happened here? Instead of, what is wrong with me? One closes you down, the other opens you up. And Dr. Kristin Neff, who has spent years researching this, found something that surprised me when I first read it. She said people who are kind to themselves, those who practice self-compassion, are actually more likely to try again and again after failure, because they're not spending all their energy managing shame. They can see possibilities instead. The inner critique doesn't make you try harder. It makes you afraid to fail. And those are not the same thing. When you're afraid to fail, you avoid risks. You stay small. You do the safe version of things. And then you criticize yourself why you're not doing more. And the loop continues. You see what I mean? There's a meditation practice I've been doing called the lovingkindness meditation. And the idea is simple. You sit quietly and you extend warm wishes to different people. The people you love, the people you feel neutral about, and even the people you find difficult. May you be happy. May you live with ease. And I remember sitting there one day going through it. I wished it for the people I love, and I could feel it warmly and deeply in me. I wished it for people I find difficult, and I could still find it somewhere in me. And then it came to me, my turn. May I be happy. May I live with ease. And I just couldn't feel it. The warmth that had been flowing naturally toward everyone else just stopped, hit a wall. And I sat there shocked because I genuinely didn't realize I had been the last person on my own list. That was the moment something cracked open. And I started paying more attention to how I spoke to myself. And I noticed that when someone I care about comes to me struggling, I don't start by criticizing them. I try to understand what they're going through. And one question naturally always comes up. What support do you need right now? I realized I had never asked myself the same question. Instead, I would ask, why can't I handle this better? Why does everyone else seem to be doing fine and not me? So now when I catch myself spiraling, I try to ask the same question I would ask the people I love. What support do I actually need right now? And the answers are usually pretty honest. Sometimes I'm tired and I need rest before I can think clearly. Sometimes I'm scared that something won't work out and I need to admit that. Sometimes I've been carrying everything all by myself and I just need to talk to someone. None of those answers come from self-criticism. They just can't. Self-criticism is too busy trying to judge the experience to understand it. But when I approach myself with a little more kindness, something opens up. I can see the situation more clearly. My view is no longer restricted, and I can see possibilities I couldn't see before. Not because the situation changed, but because I stopped spending my energy fighting myself every day. Being hard on yourself is not the same as having high standards. Criticizing yourself is not the same as caring about growth. Going easy on yourself is not the same as giving up. Kristin Neff says self-compassion is giving yourself the same kindness you'd give a good friend. Simple, but not easy. Because a lot of us have spent years believing that kindness is something we earn, something we get when we've worked hard enough, when we have achieved enough or become enough. But what if that's backwards? What if kindness is actually what makes growth possible in the first place? I started growing when I got genuinely curious about what I needed and kind enough to listen to the answers. That's something I'm still learning, and I don't always get it right, but I no longer believe that being cruel to yourself is what makes you become someone better. What's actually hard, what actually takes courage, is being on your own side. Even when you mess up, even when you're behind, even when you can't quite see where this is all going yet. Because that's usually the moment we abandon ourselves. And maybe that's exactly the moment we need our own support the most. Well, thank you for watching until the end. Thank you for staying with me throughout the video. I really appreciate you. If this resonated with you in any way, please like, leave your comment, and subscribe. And as always, take care of your heart, be present, be kind, and I will see you in the next video.